This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back. Another edition of Edmonton Oilers Talk. Do you even want to talk about this team today? I really don't, but I think there is a valid point in the exercise we are about to undertake in this video here tonight. Obviously, topic du jour last night after the loss, the Oilers defense. Obviously, we saw Jacob Chychrun's name pop up. Not just me. I wasn't the only one trolling with the Jacob Chychrun name, but we had a lot of talk, and now I see. I haven't had a chance. It just actually popped up on my phone as I was hitting record on this video, and I don't want to influence my opinion based on what Patrick said about Erik Karlsson today. So we will just go on the premise that I've seen his video title has Erik Karlsson in it, and that's zip, 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 done. That's all I'm gonna say. So, all right, my friends. We're talking the Oilers defense today. Ay, 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 what a disaster. What I want you to do first, though, is if you're new to the channel and considering sticking around, definitely take the next 5-10 minutes, whatever it takes me to get through this video, leave a subscription tab checked on the channel and come on back with the subscriber tab fully open to you for the rest of the season. That was an awkward way to say that. Trust me, things don't get better from here. However, if you're also returning, what I need you to do, something that I just re-figured out about the YouTube algorithm, is for some reason I'm doing everything right except for asking you to like the video if you enjoyed tonight's topic, tonight's discussion, or think just simply put that tonight's video had to be brought up just even if I am completely out in left field and wrong about it. Alright, leave a like. Let's go, guys. You know what? Let's get this going because today, the Oilers defense, there's been lots talked about, and what I'm looking at, the reason why I'm trying to have this discussion this way today is simply put, what is going on? Why is the Oilers defense so bad? We did the numbers there after that Dallas Stars game a couple of weeks ago. Darnell Nurse was at that point was not the issue. I don't want to run numbers. I don't want to do anything. This is just an exercise, more or less, in me asking questions. Some may be redundant, some may, right, some may be rhetorical, whatever. And end of the day is we're just trying to get it out there and figure out something to throw a dart at and say, hey, I hit something that we should look at. Because this Oilers team, I mean, the defense, to start off with, is very unchanged over last year. You've rotated out Duncan Keith for Brett Kulak, and you've rotated in two younger guys that you need to work into the lineup in Niemelainen. Obviously, the plan was to have Broberg there, but you've had Ryan Murray there for most of the season so far. So, okay, you're going 11-7. Well, if you have even one extra defenseman on the lineup card, you should be able to defend better, right? It's not like you're putting that seventh defenseman out there because everybody else sucks and he's the one guy that's going to make the difference, because Ryan Murray is most definitely not that guy. So when you look at it here, everybody at the start of Duncan Keith's contract with the Oilers last season said, man, this guy is going to sink the Oilers. And at this point of last season, everybody thought that Duncan Keith was sinking the Oilers. So that brings up another rhetorical question on, because you guys know my feelings on this, is it too early to say that the defense is going to be a problem all season long? That's number one thing you got to ask yourself. Just because this is what we're seeing now, is this necessarily what's going to happen the rest of the way home? Well, don't need to answer that. I've answered that one for you 5 or 6 times in the live stream last night. You can go watch that hour and some odd of me just watching a game fall apart as I start live streaming. So, if it's too early to say yes, this is going to be a problem all season long, that's fine. But that still doesn't solve why the defense is so bad right now. Because what do we know? Dave Manson is still in charge of the defensemen. Jay Woodcroft is not using any different combination players. We have no raw rookies in the lineup. Yes, Niemelainen has very few games of experience, but he's also gained quite a few this season. And oh, don't forget he had several last year. So it's not like you threw a nobody prospect, 18 years old, never played above the CHL in his life, into the NHL. This is not what's happening. Markus Niemelainen has played at the pro level for several years as well already. So it's not an inexperienced thing because Darnell Nurse is a veteran. Evan Bouchard's got season and 3/4 roughly plus this year, so almost 2 years in the NHL. Cody Cece's been here, done that. Brett Kulak's been here, done that. Obviously Tyson Barrie's been here, done that for several years. So, like, it's not a problem of inexperience. And this is where I turn to the comments section from last night. Quite simply put, this is a great discussion to have. Is it that the Oilers' defense is just not built to defend? Well, could that be it? But here's the thing. These players are all defensemen, right? These players are all capable of defending. These players are all, like, they've defended at every single level to make it to the NHL. I mean, I guess if you're an elite defenseman in the AHL, you could still suck at the NHL level. I get that. That's fine. But you get where I'm going. These guys are legit NHL defensemen. They've all gotten here to do this job. Cece, I don't know what draft position he was, but Barrie, Bouchard, and Nurse were all drafted. Oh, Ryan Murray too, in the first round. These were all highly thought of defensemen in their draft year. So, stop at me where you see a problem here. Anytime somebody sees a problem, raise your hand in the comments section. But, right, okay, so we go back. It's not a problem of being incapable to defend because they've done it before. Heck, they did it last year, right? This team did it last year. Everybody that was on this team that's on this defense still did it last year for large stretches. Did it enough to get us to the third round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So how could it be a matter that they're just not capable when they legitimately did it last year? But when it comes down to it, you look at this here, Dave Manson is still in charge. So scales of how this goes, the defensemen need to play better. The coach needs to coach them better, that being Dave Manson. And Jay Woodcroft needs to hold his players accountable and do some bold things, right? There's 3 layers. And then, of course, there's Ken Holland on top of everybody that needs to be looking at this like, maybe, just maybe, I need to either go add a piece to this blue line or subtract a piece from this blue line and fit some different players in and about this defense. That's where I could see. Now, when you talk about why is this defense so bad, well, could this defense use a guy like Philip Broberg who added 12 pounds of muscle this offseason, right? This Oilers defense is soft is another comment I hear a lot. Well, I mean, you want to talk about a way to not be soft? Philip Broberg adds 12 pounds of muscle. Bro, I've added 12 pounds of muscle in the past 4 years working house packs. Philip Broberg did that in a summer. Okay? So, as an elite athlete, that's, wow. Wow. So, right, you look at it that way is, okay, well, maybe just personnel change, get Philip Broberg up and away you go. But problem is with that, he's been dealing with injuries all year, and I believe he's injured right now. So, okay, trade market, Jacob Chychrun. I would be interested, like I said, I don't actually know what Patrick said about Erik Karlsson. I'd be interested to see if he was alluding that the Oilers might need to be looking that big of a splash. Erik Karlsson, you look at out there in the market too, who else is available. Yeah, okay, you could go out there and get yourself a big rangy defenseman potentially that could solve part of your problem for sure. Absolutely, there's ways to do that. Carson Soucy, which is Patrick's favorite, by the way. But right, what could you do? What could you do physically right now as the Oilers with your little bit of cap space because of LTIR, your little bit of prospect pool because Ken Holland's built it up for you? What physically as the Edmonton Oilers can you do to make this defense better? There's no simple answer because we don't even realistically know why it's a problem to begin with. That's the end all be all right here. Is you can point out of million and one things, but everything's kind of got a counterpoint here where it's like, but that doesn't really make sense. And end of the day is you almost just ask yourself, and sorry if you've been along with this journey for me for 10 minutes and 20 seconds for me to literally tell you this, where you almost just ask yourself, do they just suck completely? Like, they're NHL level defensemen, sure, but as a group, do they just suck? That could explain why they're so bad. But again, that goes back to they did it last year point. Dave Manson was the coach, got it done. Everybody was talking how elite Tyson Barrie was at defending under Dave Manson, and now the ship's completely run ashore and broken up in the sand. So, right, it's we run ourselves around in circles, and maybe to the degree, how much do you miss Duncan Keith? But again, this time last year, we were ready to run him out of town because we were losing games because of him, apparently. So, break it down how you will. There are no easy answers, and that's why we don't have an answer yet, in my opinion. Folks, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. That's why you subscribe to Dolynny TV. Ain't nobody crazier than me on YouTube. Guys, I am up on out of here.